Hi Tubies, here's Alexander again, and welcome to another painting tutorial. This time we will have a look at a quick and easy painting tutorial on how to paint wood elf dryads. Well, the dryads are the perfect unit for wood elves to get a good amount of points with relatively easy painting methods. So you can field a 30 man block or woman block of dryads in relatively short amount of time. So we will start by priming this miniature. I will use here from Army Painter colored spray primer, in this case leather brown. So, I'll be back when he's primed. Or she. Whoosh, and there we are back. As you can see, the dryad is now nice, primed and brown. And we can continue with the painting. The dryads and also tree men are supposed to mimic trees, and in the most perception you think a tree bark is brown. But when you go actually into a forest and look at the tree barks, they are in the rarest cases brown. There are more grayish and green tones in there than actual brown tones. Sorry. And so we will go now for a grayish brown with Baneblade brown. So I take here a relatively big and soft brush, and we will dry brush the whole thing. So just take some on your palette here, and then you wipe off most of the excess, and then we will simply dry brush the whole dryad. That way we can get the upper areas all in this light grayish brown tone, and the deeper areas in real brown. So this is done relatively quickly, and we can go on with a second layer of paint. So, okey-doke. And we will continue with a gray tone. There we have it. We go now for Vallejo Model Color Stone Gray. I'll give it a good shake. So we'll mix it in a little bit. And then again, we will dry brush over the tree bark of the dryad, but mostly the upper areas, so we will not dry brush the whole thing, just here and there. So, and now for the final highlights, we use the stone gray almost pure. So that way we get a nice rough tree barky look on the dryad. Now we will go for the depth in the dryad, and for that we will mix up a wash now. Now first let's clean the brush here properly. Make always sure the brush is properly cleaned. If you leave paint in the brush and leave it to dry, then well, you get a stiff brush and you can buy a new one. Okay, Now we take some washes. Where do we have that? No, still no. Ah, there we go. And that one. So, we will mix up now Athonian Camo Shade and Nuln Oil to create a very dark greenish wash. So I will take a big brush for that. So put some on your palette of the green wash. And then of course some of the black wash. And for that we will now give the whole Dryade a good wash. And voila, the whole tree bark gets a real, well, more natural tone with just a few steps. See, that is absolutely easy. Easy peasy. Okay, I guess the amount of wash I mixed was exactly the amount I needed. Maybe a little too less. There we go. Okay. Greenish now, and we will let that dry. Be right back. Okie dokie. That's the way the Dryade looks now. And now we go for a second coat of wash, but this time not so blobby like first time. This time we pick out some really dark areas that we want to have darkened even more. For example, here the back side of the head, under there, here a little bit, then here this bark area between the legs. So that way we can, with a darker wash, differentiate a little bit more between the areas. Maybe here in the mouth, here a little bit. This swirly things we can bring out a little bit more. Here another one. So, just like that. A little bit under the leg here, and maybe here down the feet. So, that also needs to dry now. Obviously, when you are painting that, you will probably paint a bunch of 10 to 20 Dryades at the same time, so this will be then not that much of a long waiting time. When you're done with the 20th Dryade, the first one is dry already. So, I'll be back in a second. So my little tubies, that's the look of the Dryade right now. And, well, at some point during the painting, you should sand your miniature, and actually the base. And the time for that is best chosen when you have a good time frame in between two paint sessions. So, for example, I right now, I'm here in the middle of the night, and well, I'm shortly going to bed now, and so this is a good place to sand the miniature, because in the morning the sand will be completely dry and ready for the next painting step. So I will choose that now. So we will take some white glue, in German Leim. I've written that there. Some of you have commented on that, what that means. This is the German word for white glue. So, simple job. Paint the base with an old brush in white glue. So, just like that. Always wash your brush properly after that. This is even more important than to completely wash out the brush after using it with paint, because a brush with white glue in it will be non-usable at all after that. So I have here a little tupper box with some sand. I have here a rough mixture out of several different kinds of sand. This is birdcage sand, some sand from a children's playground, and also some here the brown pieces are from deco sand I have from a cheap dollar store. And so I simply grab the miniature and pull it through, and then you go slightly with your thumb around the edges of the base to remove excess paint on the base edges. And then voila, it is ready to dry. The next stage after it is dry will be to hit it with a wash, with a brown wash of your choice, and then we will see us when this part is done. Be right back. So tubies, then you take your big brush and you slightly go over the fur to capture the texture. Yeah. Okay, wrong miniature. Okie dokie tubies, back to the correct miniature here. We will continue now with a miniature here with the details, and in this case there are some leaves to paint, and I will just take some regular Caliban green. This is actually quite easy. Just pick out every leaf and paint it in green. Quite easy, nothing hard about it. See? I'll be back when every leaf is painted. Also, the eyes can be covered in that color. Ta-da! Okie dokie, all the leaves are painted, and now we will highlight them with some yellow, Flash Kids yellow. Just taking some, adding it to the green, and ta-da! We have a nice bright green. But you could also use scorpion green or every other yellowish green that you have. So, with that, we will now highlight the leaves. The Caliban green works in this case actually just as a base coat, so we were not really highlighting the leaves. We will well, actually almost completely overpaint them, but here and there are some darker spots than from the dark green tone, and that is then absolutely okay. Remember, this is supposed to be a unit that is super quickly to paint, and we will leave it that way. We will leave it that way. Pun intended. So, dum-de-dum-de-dum. There are some left, and also some right. Got you again. So, also I'll paint now the eye with this color. So, and for those of you that ask me constantly what I'm using as a brush, this here is a standard Citadel standard brush. Yeah, and there we go. So, for the miniature painting, this is almost done. We will now complete the miniature, first with the base. So I take here an old base coat brush. We'll start with paint brown. And just a little light dry brush over the base. Also, I have, like I said before, washed the sand with Agrax Earthshade previously. There we go. So, and now we will finish up the job with some Screaming Skull. Just like that. Okie doke. So now we come to the fun part that makes this Dryade stand out. So this miniature is basically just 2 layers of dry brushing and then a wash over it. It might look a little bit dirty work, but we will make the Dryade now really pop out. And for that we use foam frog. There we go. This here is the light green stuff, and then I also have a dark green variant of that right here. See? So, and we will give this miniature now a texture of this stuff. First of all, we need white glue now for that. So taking the miniature again on my miniature holder or paint pot with some sticky tack. So white glue on the palette. And then we will paint a little bit of the branches here and there with this white glue. Just like that. And with that I will now go into the flock, and in the background you hear my cat is moaning about wanting to get on my balcony. So, okie doke, that is the first layer. And now Yes, yes. And then we will add a second layer of the brighter green on top of that. Okay. Here's the other frog. There we go. Okie doke. And voila, we have a real nice dryad here. So in the end, I would suggest to give it a spray coat of a matte varnish, and then you're good to go. I will now paint the edge of the base in Rhinoxide, and then we're done. Dum-de-dum. There we go. And there we have the quick and easy Dryade. Also, for the base, you could add some static grass, maybe a grass flock, or some grass tufts if you have them laying around. Make them an interesting woodish board, or base rather. And ta-da! The Dryade is done. So, once again, quick look. I hope you liked this tutorial, and we see us in the next video. Alexandra.